Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of NFL Daily, powered by Chat Sports. We got a loaded show ahead. Let's tell you what's on tap. We're going to start with an update out of Pittsburgh as Russell Wilson is being linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll tell you everything that's going on there coming up in just a moment. Also, Saquon Barkley, could he be leaving the New York Giants to go to the arch rival Philadelphia Eagles? Got a fascinating situation going on there. And the Seattle Seahawks have a brand new head coach in Mike Macdonald. They've already committed to Geno Smith, but could that stop them from bringing in another quarterback like Mac Jones? We'll dive into that possibility of Jones heading to the Pacific Northwest coming up in just a bit. Before we do, with free agency just around the corner beginning on Monday, if you want your team to sign the right free agents, like today's video. Don't jinx it. Do your part. Like the video. Send some good vibes your team's direction. Don't make me come find you because you didn't like today's video. Do your part, and we'll get started with today's show. Could Russell Wilson be cooking in Pittsburgh? According to a new report as of today, the Pittsburgh Steelers plan to meet with Russell Wilson, and they have interest in signing the former Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks quarterback. Here's more from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. The Steelers are interested in signing Russell Wilson and are tentatively planning to meet with the former Denver Broncos quarterback before the official start of free agency next week, sources have told the Post-Gazette. Wilson, 35, has an interest in joining the Steelers, but he is already talking with at least one other team after the Broncos gave him permission to seek employment elsewhere before they release him. Now, personally, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers situation, I don't hate the idea if the Steelers feel like they're a quarterback away. They obviously have a very good defense. They have a very good run game. And could Russell Wilson potentially be that missing piece? Maybe. Now, at 35 years of age, and with questions about his arm strength, having a down year a couple years ago, this year was better. I don't know what the length of Russell Wilson is going to be, how much he has left in the tank. Is it another year? Is it 2? Is it 4 or 5 years? But if the Steelers feel like that he gives them their best chance to win with Russ playing on the minimum, then I could see why they would potentially want to do this. It also tells me they don't believe in Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett last year ended up getting beat out by Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph took him to the postseason. Russell Wilson, he is going to be a future Hall of Famer, a 9-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion. We've seen him play at a high level. We've seen him lead a team to a championship. But what version of Russell Wilson would the Pittsburgh Steelers be getting? If they got the version that we saw in 2023, that threw for 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, got him on a minimum contract playing like that, I think the Steelers would be okay with that. If they get the version of Russell Wilson that we saw in 2022, that would be a colossal failure, and the Steelers would have a lot of problems there. So what do you guys think? I don't hate the idea personally with the circumstance the Steelers are in. What do you guys think? Our pinned comment today, should the Steelers sign Russell Wilson? Y for yes, N for no. Why in the comment section, tell us what you think. We have NFL hats on sale now. Some of the hats are up to 50% off. Also some free shipping involved as well on several of the hats out there. Rep your favorite team, all sorts of different hats to choose from the baseball cap style to the flat bill and more. Check it out for yourself today at chatsports.com/NFL hats. Be repping your favorite team. Chatsports.com/NFL hats to get yours today. Plenty more to choose from besides just the ones we're showing you on your screen as well. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/NFL hats. To enemy territory. Could that be the case for Saquon Barkley of the New York Football Giants? According to a new report, there is mutual interest between both the Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has spent his entire career with the New York Football Giants. They ultimately decided not to franchise tag him, so he'll be an unrestricted free agent here in the next couple days. What about Philly? Let's start with this report from the WIP morning show in Philadelphia. as they tweeted out first thing this morning, the Eagles have interest in signing Saquon Barkley. That was followed up with another tweet from Ryan Dunleavy, who covers the Philadelphia Eagles, saying that interest is mutual. Saquon to the Eagles is a real possibility. I've had the Eagles on my list of landing spots for weeks. Now, I know some of you are going to say, how could Saquon leave the New York Football Giants to go within the division down the road to their hated rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles? And the truth of the matter is this. Saquon owes no loyalties whatsoever to the New York Giants. They have been a mess of an organization. They've made a lot of mistakes. A lot of malpractice has gone on. And if you're Saquon Barkley, okay, you're coming towards the end of the prime of your career at this point. You have to capitalize and put yourself in the best position to succeed. If you're Saquon, you got to be thinking about, okay, where can I go compete for championships? Where can I go get paid? And as far as the Philadelphia Eagles go, if he wants to compete for a championship at a high level, the Eagles are a great fit for that. Saquon Barkley, former first-round pick, a two-time Pro Bowler, former NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. And the thing that would be interesting about Saquon in the Eagles offense is that we've seen that this Eagles offense is very effective about getting their guys out in space, as both pass catchers and receivers. And you got to think that Saquon's role would increase in the passing game, comparably speaking to what he did last year with the New York Giants. He had 4 receiving touchdowns, but with 41 catches, you would think with Jalen Hurts, that offense and the RPOs they run, that they would find a variety of different ways to use Saquon Barkley there. So let's ask you guys, where will Saquon Barkley sign in free agency? Is it to a team like Philly, or is it somewhere else? Weigh in the comment section. Give us your prediction where you think he'll end up. We got a wild couple of days here on NFL Daily ahead, as we are your go-to destination for all things NFL free agency. We're talking about the big signings. We're going to be live a couple times next week with reaction to these signings as they happen in real time. If you love the National Football League, you want to stay up to date what's going on throughout the NFL free agency, you need to subscribe to the channel. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV, or YouTube.com/ChatSports TV. You can also check out our Seahawks channel too. To subscribe now to stay up to date what's happening in NFL free agency. Lock us in. You'll be glad you did. Speaking of the Seahawks, could they be jonesing around for Mac Jones? The New England Patriots quarterback, his days appear to be numbered in Foxborough, and where could he potentially go next? According to a new report, the Seattle Seahawks are the team to watch to add to the Patriots quarterback. And just a few days ago, we heard from the Seahawks organization that they were committing to Geno Smith to return to the roster next year. Or could Mac potentially fit into all of this? Let's explain. More from the Boston Sports Herald's Greg Bedard. One thing that I've picked up in the last couple of weeks is that one team to keep an eye on for Mac Jones is the Seattle Seahawks. I think John Schneider is a guy who looks back at his college evaluations of players. I think that he liked Mac Jones coming out. I think a lot of people are wondering what exactly happened to him here, and they're probably doing their due diligence with the Patriots on that. Personally, from my perspective, I don't hate this idea. Now, let me explain further what the Seahawks would potentially be doing here with Mac Jones. You're not bringing him in to bench Geno Smith, okay? You'd be bringing him in to sit behind Geno Smith, to be a quality backup, and to get that second chance to get out of New England. Because let's face it, you had Matt Patricia as your OC at one point. You had a horrible offensive line, no skill position players. Mac Jones was set up to fail. And the Seahawks did this before with Geno Smith, where they took a guy that was not successful as a starter previously and turned him into a Pro Bowl quarterback. Potentially now you bring in Mac Jones and you back up Geno Smith, and if something were to happen to Geno, if he got banged up, and he has been injured some of the last couple of years, give Mac Jones a shot and see what he could do with a fresh start there potentially. Could be a nice find, not cost a ton for the Seahawks to potentially pull this off. Mac Jones, his career numbers, his rookie season was his best, 22 touchdowns, 13 picks. Last year was a bit of a debacle of sorts, a less than 65% completion percentage, 2,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 12 picks. And I don't think this trade would cost a ton for Seattle if they want to do this. I think you give up a sixth-round pick, and he could be your backup quarterback. I certainly would take him over Drew Lock, that's for certain, and potentially finding a quarterback of the future, with that said. More from the Boston Sports Journal on the situation. Geno Smith is not their franchise quarterback for multiple years. So why not take a chance on a flyer on Mac Jones to get him evaluated? Now, I'll say this. I don't think Mac's a franchise quarterback by any means. I think if you're the Seahawks, you have to think of this as an opportunity like the Trey Lance trade that the Cowboys had with the San Francisco 49ers last year. Just because they brought in Trey Lance didn't mean that they were done with Dak all of a sudden. They brought in Trey Lance because he had potential, wanted to evaluate him and see what they got out of Trey Lance, essentially. I think that's what you're looking at here with Seattle is you look at Mac Jones, you're not bringing him in to take over Geno Smith's job, but to sit behind Geno and give him an opportunity if something were to present itself. So let's ask you guys, should the Seahawks trade for Mac Jones? Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in the comment section and let us know what you think. If you enjoyed today's show, we certainly would appreciate it. If you liked today's video, show us some love, and we shall see you next time right here on NFL Daily.